Across the U.S., cities face a tough question, one that goes beyond simple policy and strikes at the heart of community values. How do local leaders balance the responsibilities of local policing with the demands of federal immigration enforcement, especially when those priorities can sometimes conflict? Welcoming city policies are designed to build trust between law enforcement and immigrant communities so that everyone feels safe coming forward to report crimes or seek help, without the looming fear of deportation or separation from loved ones. In Easton, Pennsylvania, this national debate took on a local, personal dimension as the city council considered adopting a welcoming city ordinance. The ordinance would have put into writing what was already common practice for city officials and police officers, that city resources and staff wouldn't be used to enforce federal immigration laws, keeping local and federal roles clearly separated. Supporters like Councilwoman Taiba Sultana saw the ordinance as more than just a policy. It was a moral statement, a public reassurance to immigrants that they truly belong in Easton and are valued members of the community. Critics, however, argued that Easton was already a welcoming place, with a long history of inclusion and neighborliness. They worried that making the city's stance official with a formal label could attract unwanted federal attention or even funding cuts, putting the city at risk. The debate wasn't just about policy details, but about the very identity of the city. What kind of place Easton wanted to be and how it would be seen by the outside world. It was also about weighing the risks and rewards of making its welcoming stance official, and what message that would send. This tension set the stage for a heated local discussion, one that would soon be shaped by the broader forces of national politics and shifting public opinion. The outcome would test whether Easton could truly balance its core values of inclusion and safety, with the pressures and uncertainties coming from outside its borders. Easton's debate over its identity and values unfolded during the Trump administration's aggressive crackdown on sanctuary cities, a period marked by heightened tensions over immigration policy nationwide. The federal government threatened to withhold crucial funding from cities that limited cooperation with federal immigration authorities, putting local budgets and essential services at risk. For Easton, the potential loss of federal dollars would have meant significant cuts to public safety, infrastructure projects, and vital community programs that many residents depended on every day. The term sanctuary city quickly became politically charged, sparking heated debates, and even so-called welcoming city ordinances began to draw intense federal scrutiny and controversy. City leaders faced a stark and difficult choice: support their immigrant communities and risk losing vital funding, or play it safe and avoid confrontation with the federal government. The fear of financial loss quickly overshadowed the symbolic value of the ordinance as leaders worried about the real-world impact on city services and vulnerable residents. In Easton, the threat from Washington became the deciding factor, shaping the city's approach to immigration and local policy. Ultimately, the city's leaders had to weigh their ideals and commitment to inclusion against the very real risk of losing resources that supported all residents, making the decision more complex than ever before. On August 21, 2025, Easton's City Council made a pivotal decision, pulling the Welcoming City Ordinance from the agenda after weeks of anticipation and public debate. Mayor Sal Panto Jr. argued that the potential risks, including possible loss of federal funding and political backlash, outweighed any symbolic benefits, insisting Easton's actions already proved its welcoming nature to newcomers and longtime residents alike. Council members echoed this sentiment, describing the ordinance as a solution in search of a problem, and emphasizing that the city's current policies already fostered inclusion without the need for a formal declaration. Only Councilwoman Taiba Sultana opposed dropping the vote, seeing it as a missed chance to stand by vulnerable residents and send a clear message of support to those who feel threatened. For her, backing down sent the wrong message to immigrants and marginalized groups, signaling hesitation when solidarity was needed most. Ultimately, the council chose financial security and political caution over a formal declaration, prioritizing stability in uncertain times. The debate revealed the difficult balance between principle and pragmatism, highlighting the complex pressures local leaders face. In the end, Easton's leaders decided to remain welcoming in practice, choosing to avoid provoking federal retaliation while quietly upholding their values in everyday actions. Easton's decision mirrors a broader pattern across Pennsylvania's Lehigh Valley. Neighboring Bethlehem faced a similar choice and also shelved its welcoming ordinance, fearing federal backlash. In contrast, Allentown took a bold step, officially barring city resources from aiding federal immigration enforcement. Allentown's move set it apart, prioritizing principle over potential financial risk. These divergent paths highlight how local politics and risk tolerance shape policy. The result is a patchwork of approaches leaving immigrants with inconsistent protections across city lines. Easton and Bethlehem chose caution. Allentown chose confrontation. The region's story reflects the national struggle over immigration and local autonomy. Easton's choice to avoid a formal welcoming ordinance marks a turning point. Leaders prioritized fiscal stability, hoping to protect essential services for all. Supporters of the ordinance see the decision as a missed opportunity to reassure immigrants. Without a written policy, Easton's welcoming status remains an unwritten promise, open to change. Now the city must prove its commitment through actions, not just words. The burden is on Easton to show its welcome is real, even without official backing. The story captures a broader American dilemma balancing values with political and financial realities. Only time will tell if Easton's unwritten welcome is enough to build lasting trust.